raw language.
It would have been, but HBO didn't want to do it.
Oh.
They don't like, a lot of people don't like the agenda that we bring.
Well, the other thing was I couldn't figure out why they couldn't afford to get you a chair. You always were half-cocked on that desk.
Like when you lean against the pool table or something.
So these idiots could slam my awful legs.
Yeah.
That was a crime that show got
Yes, it was.
canceled.
It was disgusting. Oh, my God. That's me and Kyle.
That is the worst.
just eating.
That was awful that got taken off.
There's no reason for it. No reason.
You know what's funny?
There was a political reason.
Well, also, they got some complaints, because I think they were rerunning us the next day at 7, and then The Daily Show, they were rerunning at 7:30. And I think in that, and again, The Daily Show was a bigger show, but our ratings were actually higher than The Daily Show in those reruns. And again, I'm not saying the Tough Crowd was bigger than The Daily Show, but it was fucking a very watched show.
Yeah, it was.
And they got some complaints about content, and they yanked it. And me and Penn, we had that argument a few weeks ago, where he was talking about Bill Donahue in the Catholic League, and he was going, the things they did to Matt and Trey, like in South Park. But what that made me think of is, Comedy Central proved that when you back a show, like they've backed South Park, and you stand up against that bullshit, now it's the biggest show they've ever had, and they've gotten complaints, they've gotten protests,
threats of boycotts,
and it's the biggest show they ever had because the network stood behind it. So that's, I guess, the point I'm making.
They didn't like the idea that you discussed race, and meanwhile, Chappelle's show, which was, they were ready to just back a fucking tanker full of money over to him. That was nothing but racial humor.
Well, I mean, that's the whole. Everybody knows. Everybody in the country knows that white people are not supposed to discuss race except from the point of apologizing.
Yeah, or else you're racist.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, or else you're a racist.
That's just the way it is. If you do anything but that, everybody has a heart attack.
You got to apologize.
Especially all the white people.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. But nobody will really admit it completely, or they'll go, well, it's too bad, it's payback, It's just a fact.
Payback.
Well, there's a little pushback happening with Imus getting back on radio.
I don't know. Some of those remarks he made were salty. I heard one of those girls was scarred for life.
Yes.
And then I saw her iPod and I saw the playlist. I noticed a couple of songs that might be a little saltier. A little young cheesy number called "Take My 12 Gauge" into your, I mean, it's so pathetic that even they have these girls being phony and going, I was scarred,
Dude, we've talked about the Imus situation, I mean, off and on for the last 6 months. And I even went down the road with Jimmy. I'm like, all right, let's try to see it the other way. Let's just sit here and try to see it the fucking other way.
All right, so you got
Have an open mind.
Got in at 10 o'clock that day instead of 6.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Wow. Great line. Stupid me still trying to make my point. But very good, Colin.
A cup of tea with 8 sugars later.
Right. Bravo.
Oh, man. Yeah, so go ahead.
I hope you enjoyed the bounce pass.
But this is kind of but this is interesting to see it the other way. I'm not even kidding, but go ahead.
But, Jimmy and I think we were in a cab on the way home, like, let's just try to see it the other way. And it just still bothers me. I can't see it their way whatsoever.
Could not wrap my head around it at all. Like, even to play devil's advocate, I just could not.
To get kicked off a radio show for saying nappy-headed hoe, it just amazes me. It amazes me.
But good thing is,
it doesn't amaze me. Go ahead.
Good thing is he got rehired. And the bottom line, it's a great fucking thing that he got rehired, because people go, oh, so now we're going to have to deal with him on the other side. It was a terrible move to
what he did
him.
in the end? He helped the Rutgers women's basketball team program, because there was an article a couple weeks ago that recruiting has never been better for that school because of what Imus said. He actually helped their program. In the end, it was a massive positive thing for the school and every single person that was on that team, including the coaches and the stupid mop lady.
And all the
mops the fucking floor after the game's over.
And they got nice hats for all the girls, so you can't see their hair.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is what's been happening now, This is a climate that's never discussed, but,
Did you see a few excerpts from the Pat Buchanan book about how the country
come on, John, this is ridiculous. Pat, that's your crowd. Oh, John.
How this country is just pretty much done as one of the great empires of the earth that is pretty much on the downswing. And
me and philosopher Nick DiPaolo were talking about this yesterday. And what Nick DiPaolo actually said, which is true, is Pat Buchanan, one thing, whatever people think about him, he has hit the mark, and he's been the most things in the past 20 years that were kind of happened. In the country. And I think it's definitely.
He says
true.
With the dollar at an all-time low, foreign countries looking to get off the whole dollar. They're looking to pick up on the euro. China owning half of our country. The housing market just in the shitter, and then the invasion from Mexico that's happening.
But this sounds like one of those things where you like this. Ready?
Yeah.
I'd like to read something to you, Anthony. The foreigners are invading our land. The economy's at an all-time low. There's crime everywhere. That was written in 1840.
Oh, yes. And if you look, that was written by Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, and we still went on to blah, blah, blah.
But, but I do think there's, I don't know what's going to happen with the actual country, but it's like that, just the phoniness of what we're talking about, the lack of discussing anything, the double standards that go on.
But you know what? It's not just white people anymore that are getting it, but black people don't get it from whites. They get shit from other minority groups. Like the Asian groups, because there's been black DJs fired, like Donnell Rawlings got fired for something he said. There's been other black guys that get a lot of shit, but they never get it from white people because white people still feel paternalistic. They get it from fucking Asian groups who don't give a shit. And they deal with racism from blacks in the neighborhoods, having to fucking have them scream about more duck sauce and fucking the Korean delis. They do. They deal with racism from blacks all the time. So they've had it up to here. They don't give a shit. They don't feel any guilt.
I feel sorry for your mother.
Yo, Jet Li.
Yo, what you say?
Yo, Jet Li.
But the only people that don't
Jet
call...
Li.
Where you keep the... Where you keep the cold beer, Poppy?
Joe Gently.
I was at the Gene Simmons roast. Carrot Top was one of the roasters, and I think RZA from Wu-Tang was there. This is backstage, and he was trying to talk to Carrot Top. He goes, "Yo, Carrot Head." It really made me laugh. Yo, Carrot Head.
Did Carrot Head use any of those muscles of his?
No, he was
to fight back. Of course not.
He was fucking funny on the roast. So I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Carrot Top was. Yeah, he was really funny.
Yeah. What am I saying? He was really cool on our show.
Yeah.
He was funny and nice.
Yeah, he's great.
All right, we're going to take a break. Colin Quinn in studio playing Gotham Comedy Club. An amazing comic.
And, an
amazing depressed comic.
He's insightful.
That's the best comedy
I'll say one thing about Opie. That son of a bitch has always come to see me. And Anthony actually showed up once, but he had to sit right behind my aunt, remember?
Yes.
Remember I badgered Anthony because Opie always came, and then Anthony's right behind my cousin. She's like, "Honey, isn't he the greatest?" She's grabbing him the whole show.
That's cool. I fucked her. I'm teasing, of course.
I remember back in the day when we met you for the first time, you were on the way to bet the horses, and every time we saw you after that was you betting horses.
OTB.
And then
he was worried about us giving the tip out because he didn't want the odds going down that day.
Oh, remember?
Yeah.
You were like, I got a great tip from my uncle or whatever it was.
Cousin Dylan.
And you were running to OTB. It was such a great tip. And you're like, fuck, I just told the biggest assholes in New York radio this great tip. Yeah. And you were panicking that we were going to go on the air that day.
Odds were going to drop.
Your spot and make it a 3-1 on you.
But actually, they closed that OTB too, you know.
Why? Around the corner of your house? Why?
Oh, Ninth Avenue's really booming, Jim. I mean, you should get up there and try to invest. You're right nearby. Take a brief walk on a Sunday after Lincoln Center, you cocksucker.
And then you were trying to drag us into that world with you. Come on, let's go.
You guys wanted to bet.
I love that.
Come on, let's bet.
Anthony's family bets the Trotters. They probably go to the dog track. Dude, Anthony looks like a highlight player. He looks like a best highlight player.
Wow. We did a gig at a dog track.
We had protesters.
We had protesters outside.
Great.
Why? We were just trying to make an extra $100 because we were making no money in radio. And on the weekend, we're like, could you guys do an appearance at the dog track? We're like, yeah, whatever. How much? It was like $100 to $200 each. We're like, cool. That's some nice drinking money, right? We show up. There's a massive protest going on with our names on the sign. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What
thanks.
did we do?
Actually, Jim's working a dog fight this weekend.
We just want
North Fork Dog Fighting Association.
No, that's New Year's Eve. It's an 8 o'clock show.
My God.
At the old Westbury Music Fair. If you want tickets, you go to Ticketmaster tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. Goes on sale.
There you go.
See?
Like, we just want to throw T-shirts out. Collect a couple $100, and we're dealing with fucking protesters, like throwing shit at our cars and stuff.
Animal hater, right. The dog, and they're showing like they have signs with pictures of greyhounds with big open wounds on them, and
yeah, those aren't the dog track dogs. Dog track dogs are treated very
healthy.
well.
Is there any strategy?
It's when they can't run anymore.
I think you have